Hey, happy Thursday. What's going on?
Happy Thursday. All right. Another Smart Assets episode. Got some good stuff for you guys.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We're going to get right into it. Welcome, everyone. Give a moment some folks to log in and tune in to us. We'll get some tunes going on up in here for some good vibes.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll get into some smart assets. Smart assets. Evan, how you doing today? How's been your day? I feel like I haven't talked to you much the last few days.
Yeah, we've been both pretty busy, man. It's been good doing some deep dives on some crypto projects, learning a little bit about what's going on out there, some things brewing under the surface. It's been exciting this week.
All right. And we'll do a quick intro for those of us that don't know us. My name's Ivan Dimov, CMO, the American Crypto Academy, long-term digital assets fan and collector, and here to share what I can offer with everyone else.
Amazing, amazing.
Joined with
And I'm Evan Lamontagne. I go by fdogcrypto on Twitter. I am a long-term crypto investor myself, and I have recently been added to the Sarson's Funds team as a blockchain analyst, helping them digest all the craziness that's going on around the space.
Yeah, right on. Those of you also may not be familiar, American Crypto Academy has Twitter Spaces every morning, morning announcements at 9 a.m. Eastern. And the Sarson Funds team joins us every morning, provides quite the analysis of daily market events and development. So shout out to Sarson Funds and the team and Evan.
Of course.
Welcome to the show. This is our second episode where Evan and myself and we'll feature some guests here coming up in the next several shows, dissecting several different developments or interesting projects. None of this is in any way financial advice. It's just what we like, and so we share in on the fun and any alpha that we know within the community. And so tune in every week, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're trying to stay on top of this and make it happen. Exciting stuff.
Absolutely, yeah.
As always, at the end of the show, we're going to try to do a giveaway based on participation or several different levels as we get through the show. So don't be shy. Get in there, ask questions, and bring up interesting topics we can discuss. We'll be more than happy to cover any topic that anyone wants to out there. And on a similar note, like I said, nothing's financial advice. We do this for fun. This is our opinions. We play the game all day, every day, and all of us get burned. Take this as a note. Scams are out there every day trying to take advantage of users. Sadly, because we are the owners of our assets, that makes us a lot more responsible and a lot bigger of a target than we've ever been to. So it's just something that we have to get accustomed to in the space. Always be vigilant. Always do research. Never rush and give into FOMO. I'm guilty of it myself. I've learned the hard way.
Absolutely, yeah. That FOMO gets you every time. It's like, come on, that's such a great opportunity, but you're in the rush of things and you don't take the time to read the fine print or see what's actually going on. So taking your time, doing your research, and there's never really a reason to rush, especially if you don't know exactly what you're doing.
On that note, a little bit of what we'll get into today. I'm going to share about one of my favorite games that I still play after a year, just give or take, of it launching on the Wax blockchain. I'll get a little bit into Web Scholars, which is a scholarship DAO project on the Ethereum blockchain. We'll let Evan tell us about some cool stuff. What do you got, Evan, today?
So I'm going to talk a little bit about NFT worlds and their rebrand and comeback. We're going to also talk about ENS as well as decentralized domains and what they can offer for you as utility or even just building yourself a brand in the space. And I also want to touch a little bit on one of the biggest hip hop music festivals in the world dropping their NFT that was minting today. We'll get a little bit more into that later in the show.
Oof, that one's a little expensive. Oh, and I'm gonna share some alpha on the Love Club DAO. This is a project sharing some love coming up right for Valentine's Day, but it doesn't stop there. So looking forward to sharing about that. Of
Amazing.
course, at the end, towards the end, Evan's going to tell us about the latest rug or scam, and definitely good to learn from others' lessons. That's what we do in Web3. We all share where we come from, what we've learned, so that others hopefully learn from our mistakes. Don't give in to FOMO.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I'll kick it off. Let's see what we got going on. Who's out there? Anybody? Say hello. We see you. I'm gonna jump right in. I'm gonna talk about train of the century. Train of the century. Let me show some stuff here.
You were showing me this one before. I'm excited to see kind of where you're at with it compared to when you first showed me.
Well, like, it hasn't been a long time since I've shown you, but I've never really been able to get into details with you just because out of time, but it's one of my favorite games. I'm very excited about it. Looking forward to share about it. This is in no way shill. This is just sharing in detail because there's a lot of projects out there and you don't know what to. Not everyone has the time to dive in and dissect everything. And that's one of the things we want to do with the show is share some of the dissection. You make your own analysis and join if you like. Jacob, what's going on? Thank you. Appreciate the feedback. Hey, Jenny. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Glad to have you. So jump right in. Well, I'll give a quick background story as I scroll through some of these images. But like, I've always been a fan of tycoon games. I've always been a gamer. No secret to those of you that know me. And tycoon games that allow you to sort of do a lot of management or strategic play, planning, survival, or building, city building, to be more specific, have been my top games that I've spent thousands of hours on, literally. It's funny that Steam tracks that. And so like when this game was first announced, I was really excited about it. I've been waiting for it to come out. I've been with it since the start. I'm an OG in any way. I'm a train station owner that's similar to what a lot of projects call land ownership. I have four stations. I lose track sometimes because I have a bunch of assets, but Crypto Lady J in the house. And so I've always been a fan, so I was very excited to see a blockchain game get on that topic. There's not enough, and hopefully more get developed. I've always had a plan to develop my own city builder, but that takes time and focus. And as we all know, that's a different conversation. But I wonder, can we do a quick video intro? I'm not sure if it's coming through well. But in a nutshell, I'm going to jump right in the game and explain it with it. This is just their landing page. It's kind of a tycoon type strategy game that is based on having everything within it is a digital asset. Your train's made up of several different aspects. You have a locomotive, you have a conductor, you have rail cars, different types of rail cars that push. I gotta log in because the mod reset. Different types of rail cars that carry different types of materials, and each one of those is its own asset. Including the station. The station provides a passive earning where the trains themselves is more of an active learning where depending on the ability of the train, the distance it can go, how much it can haul, you send it from station to station. When it arrives, you get a fee paid, but it's quite interesting. They've obviously spent a lot of time on the tokenomics, and I want to display, I'm trying to log in here 1 second. And of course, two-way authentication. Real quick, very important, strong recommended for all of your assets. If you're anywhere on a cloud or custodial, always two-factor authenticate, even 3 factors if that's possible. Some platforms allow that, or there's ways. I apologize for the bandwidth here a little bit. Is it? Please let me know if the picture's too choppy. See what I can do to improve my bandwidth. But yeah, I'm curious, Evan. Do you have any experience with tycoon games or anything like that?
I remember, as a kid, those were some of my favorite PC games. I played a lot of Roller Coaster Tycoon
Yes.
and some similar games to those. So those sort of city builder type economy-based games have always been attractive to me. So I got just for everybody's information, I got myself my first little bag of wax. And I'm gonna start kind of dabbling in some of the awesome games that Ivan's gonna show us here over these next few weeks and all the other stuff he
Yes.
shows us. For
Yes,
sure.
onboarding on wax. Let's go. So it's the name of the game is Train of the Century. So obviously the name itself implies there's going to be different centuries. And the beauty of it is that we're still in the first century. The developers have not introduced the new century as of yet. But I am happy to share that the developers have been quite active throughout the entire bear market. And we keep chugging at it in the game and moving forward. In fact, they recently had another update, and they're working on some more exciting stuff. And I think we're getting closer and closer to the next century being introduced. As you can see, there's a few different islands. Every island has a different intricates. There's a play where there's passengers that you can carry in addition to just different materials on the train. And the passengers actually, if they have a satisfactory ride, meaning if you're within the area, if the train lands within the area that they do want to be in, and every asset is identified as far as a passenger, what area they're fans of, they actually give you a tip. So there's an interesting play with passengers that they're looking to. I haven't seen this yet. This is one of their newest edition with the last update that happened, I think, either this week or late last week. But they introduced an arcade, which actually was. They do have mini games. I know I'm kind of all over the place. They do have mini games, and one of the suggestions I introduced was like, because they force you to play the mini game after a train arrives or after you send a train, and that's the only time you can play the game. But with this arcade, I imagine they've tied in their mini games to where you can just go and play them at any time, which is exciting. I'm looking forward to this. I haven't had the opportunity to check it out yet. And so you all know of the assets that make up the game. The game, you create a train, and I'll demonstrate that right now. Is over here on the left-hand side, you can see I have 4 icons. Those are each one of my trains and their current status. Here I popped up a menu that shows the 4 trains, and I have 2 trains that have arrived and I can claim the proceeds from. I'll show you what the trains are made from while I'm here. I might as well demonstrate the claim real quick. But basically it says, oh, great, you've arrived at Final Park. That's the station it arrived in. It executes a transaction on Wax. It rewards me a token. Percentage of that token is also sent to the station owner where I've arrived, hence the passing income. And then I move forward. It's going to update the balance of the token. And I apologize, it's a little slow here because of bandwidth, I guess. But I'm going to have to solve this for next week. Bear with me through this episode. And then I pick a station to go again. But I want to show you when picking a station, it's quite interesting because not every station pays the same. Every station accepts all the different products, but the amount that you're paid out changes every 12 hours. So you can't sit there repetitiously going from station to station and manipulating it, because you got to go a different route if you want to maximize your run and get a better return on the money. Now, you do spend gas, as you can notice down on the left, and this is taking a minute. I think the bandwidth, I didn't see the pop-up, so I might have to refresh. But bottom left-hand side, there's fuel. So every time you send a train out, you actually spend fuel. To pay for that run. And so there's several aspects to consider when sending a train, including how much fuel you're going to pay, and then you have to make sure you have fuel. Bear with me a second. I think I'm stuck here and my resources are really bad. Questions so far?
Yeah, I was curious. So you said it changes every 12 hours. So do you know what you're going to get paid out before you send it? Can you like plan out as it changes in real time? Kind of your plans on what you're going to receive and everything?
I got stuck there, so I refreshed. Yes. So every time, and that's what I was trying to show you right now. Every time you click on a station to send the train, first of all, it's going to give you a warning if you try to go back to the same station you just came from, because it's going to give you a warning saying, hey, you're going to pay 10 times the gas if you try going backwards. This is to prevent, because the fee is going to be still the same if you recently sent a train and you were there to receive it, and then long enough time hasn't passed for the race to change, you can keep going back and forth between two stations and sort of manipulating the system to take advantage of the rate that a particular station is paying. And so for that reason, it charges you 10 times the amount of gas, which makes the that particular run unprofitable. And so it doesn't make sense for you to go backwards. Now, sometimes that happens because you make the wrong decision to go to a station where going forward requires a train that can go a further distance, and your train can't go that further distance. And so the only way out is going back and paying your fee of 10 times gas for the run to get out of that pickle. And so, like, okay, I'm not going to claim. Let me show a train that's already claimed to send it out. Okay, well, no, I guess one of them's got to be claimed. So we got to go through this. Hang on. Come on, get through it. Okay, I got the pop-up, so it should work this time. Yeah, I realized what I was doing wrong. I shouldn't be running this in Brave. It works better in Chrome. But because I've been last summer the game became mobile compatible, so since then I've been playing it on my tablet, and I forgot that factor. Even on my tablet, it's on Chrome. It performs better on Chrome than Brave, but I'm currently using Brave, so that's why I had that issue with the freeze up a minute ago. Sorry, go ahead.
How does Wax translate to like your tablet? Is it pretty intuitive to use from your mobile, like a not computer based?
Oh, this is we're encountering an oh my god, what's the acronym for the not real player? The NPC?
NPC, yeah.
Yeah, this is an NPC encounter. There's several of them throughout the game. They all award you something or other. In this case, it's the stranger. The stranger. There's also a story. There's a campaign that you can follow in chapters of a story. I'm actually 5-6 chapters behind. I haven't looked how many chapters behind I am of the story, because I usually get in, receive all my trains, send them all out, and get out. And so the story, you got to sit there 5-6 minutes, get through this. It's actually fun and engaging, but the story also kind of leads you through the lore of the project, which is quite interesting, because there's a big play on the train of the century and how do trains get to the other century. And so the lore and the story, or the campaign of the game, tells you and walks you through that, and involves you as a character of the story. Makes it for quite an interesting game. Although kind of still just a clicker, it's one of the most advanced blockchain clickers out there. I just received an 18 particles, which is what is used to travel between centuries. 18 is quite a lot. Usually you don't get that amount that big. It's usually 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Sometimes you get 12, sometimes 18. I think I've gotten up to 20 something. And then these are also, you can sell these as well, both within the game itself, or you can, I believe they're exportable in one way or another. And someone correct me if I'm wrong, if someone's watching and knows this. I know there's also assets that you can purchase and then import into the game, but because you can sell them, I think there's also the other way around, where you can export it and sell them as individual assets. The other NPCs are, you encounter a mechanic that sells you parts at a discount. These parts are used to upgrade your train assets to perform better. So, well, primarily your locomotive. So you can upgrade the locomotive, or I think you can, if you collect all the assets. And I got to double check on this because I'm almost there. But if you collect all the assets, I think you can create a train asset that is then becomes a standalone NFT that you can then trade or use. Trying to multitask here while that's loading. I wanted to show you some of the individual assets that I hold. I can't show all of them because some of them are also staked. But what I'm currently using, I can display. So now this train arrived. I've received my fee. The station owner received their fees. There's another interesting aspect. I realize I say interesting often enough, but it's so interesting. A really cool aspect of the stations is each station you unlock additional levels in there. You unlock a rail yard where you can stake locomotives. So if you're somebody like me that kind of like jumped into this project and bought a bunch of packs and opened them, and so like Wax is known for having packs, especially with gaming, where you get several assets that you can use within the game. Packs are not traditionally known across so blockchains, so that's a unique aspect to Wax, but it's being explored. I know of some projects exploring how can we put multiple assets into one pack. The X project is one of those projects exploring it. That is also another project that I'll speak on a future episode. I'm gonna try to it's quite interesting. I can spend a whole episode talking about this game, but anyway, packs. And so when you have a lot of locomotives, when you unlock a rail yard, you can stake the locomotives. They earn you the in-game token passively. If you have a lot of conductors, another thing you can unlock in every station is a lounge, conductor lounge. And so then if that is unlocked, I can go to any station, whether I own it or not. They only have so many spots allowed, but you can stake assets there. And then based on the rarity of that asset, you earn passive in-game token. This may take a second, but I was going to see if I can show you that menu. They did also do and it's I think still live. They currently have an Ethereum drop that's a free claim. I'm not 100% sure what they're going to do with that. There was some rumors that I don't even remember what the rumor was, but you can, if you go to the trains.cards website, there is an Ethereum drop. It's a free drop. You get a little train. Again, I don't know that it has any other utility besides a little bit of marketing, but they may develop something. I doubt they'll create some assets without having a plan for them. So that's also interesting. But see, staking, just to demonstrate that, like I have probably, let's see, 10, 20, upwards of somewhere between 60 to 100 assets staked, and I haven't claimed in a while, but like some assets give you 1.25 per hour, other assets give you as high as 10 per hour. And this shows you at which station what asset is staked. Anyway, real quick, these are some of the assets on the Wax blockchain. Looking from the marketplace through my inventory, some of the conductors. As you see, there's different rarities. They have different perks and different boosts, as well as hauling powers because they're the conductor. Then you have different rail cars, be it for water, liquid, all sorts of stuff. These assets right here are some of the commodities that you put on those rail cards. And as you can see, each one has a different price on resale value based on their performance and demand and how they pay out within the game. I still have some packs. I have one listed. I think this one's going to get close to selling, but their value has appreciated. I do have a bunch of like these, I've always been a car guy, and car assets are not, well, there's a lot of car assets. They're not the best performing within the game, but you can still make some really good paid runs with them within the game. And so these were, I think we could just mint them. They weren't very expensive with the in-game tokens. So that's why I have a lot of extra small. I forget how they were giving them out, but I have all kinds of assets. And this is an example of like some of the locomotives. This particular one is an epic locomotive. It shows you distance, speed, conductor threshold. This has to do with some of the conductor's abilities, what type of fuel it uses, what kind of hauling power it's got. And then remember, like you can upgrade these in several different ways within the game, which then burns this particular asset issues a new asset with higher statistics. And of course, it's more rare because now you've lowered the supply of these assets. Where right now, if you can notice on the screen, I can't move the mouse because it would disappear. But towards the top under schema, it says mint number 238 of 572. 178 have been burned. That means 178 have been upgraded. That lowers the total supply from 572 minus 178. So now we're talking about there's less than 400 less than 500 less than 400 assets of this particular make, makes this particular asset worth more because less supply, and the new ones worth more because it's got higher statistics. And so there are a lot of several different mechanisms of burning and blending within this project and game. Makes it for a lot, like you can literally spend hours playing this game. And I'm gonna stop talking here because I can literally go on. There's so much to unravel around this, but that's why I wanted to highlight this game. It's been around for about a year now. They've done several major updates. We're getting very close to the next century to unlock. The current station owners will have the same ownership in the next century, so the stations continue. The trains may not. I believe we would have to set up new trains. However, I have the assets to do that with, and you can go travel back and forth between centuries. So potentially you can run multiple trains in multiple different centuries at the same time. You can spend all day running this game. It's ridiculous.
That's the beautiful thing about tycoon games, is the only way is up. I absolutely love that. And the dynamics with like those burning mechanisms and being able to upgrade them, it seems like a pretty cool game to participate in. That's really cool.
And on that note, I'm gonna give the word to you, Evan. I'm gonna take a little break and get in there. Tell us. I'm really excited to learn more about NFT Worlds because I've known them. Speaking of Wax, there is a similar project that was using the Minecraft servers as well. I'm not sure how they've pivoted since the update for Microsoft, but definitely looking forward to hearing more about NFT Worlds.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll just start by kind of talking a little bit about the history. Let me see here. How do I share screen? Screen one, share. Okay. All right. Can you see that, Ivan?
Yep, coming right up.
All right, perfect. All right, so NFT Worlds was a metaverse layer on top of the existing Minecraft game and engine. Minecraft is, it's been around for more than a decade at this point. We've seen some serious iteration on the base game, adding so much more depth. And on top of that, we have one of the most well-flourishing developer ecosystems within any sandbox game in Web 2 here at Minecraft. And we saw NFT World spring up in October of 2021, yes. And they minted out. It was a free mint. They basically allowed users to free mint one of the 10,000 land pieces. That would be these. And you're allowed to buy, build, create anything you want within this metaverse. As you can see, some of these are developed a little bit more than others, and you could basically create an experience within your world for players to join and participate in an economy. Unfortunately, about June, July of last year, Microsoft, who owns Mojang, the company that runs Minecraft, they cracked down on all NFT and crypto integrations within any sort of Minecraft-based server or game. So there was a hard pivot that was needed to do for the NFT World's team and ecosystem. So with that, they are now developing their own completely ground up rebuild of a Minecraft-like game with backwards compatibility. So all the people that spent, there were some people that spent a lot of money building out some of these diverse and extremely unique experiences within these worlds. They're actually able to take what they've built, they spent that money on, and is now kind of void, and they're able to upload that into the new game engine and be able to kind of start where they left off. We're expecting to see that within Q2 of this year. We're going to see the beta probably within the next month or so for this new game engine, which I'm super excited for. So it's going to look and feel a lot like Minecraft, but it's going to be on a completely different coding language even. They're building this now on Rust. Um, there's a lot that's coming for NFT worlds. They're revamping the tokenomics. They're also adding support with their metafab solution, which is a layer in which they. Let me actually look that up, so we can actually look at
Sorry,
what
is it
metafab is.
Ethereum or Solana?
So this is EVM based to start. So basically, what they're doing is creating NFT worlds, which is going to be like a Minecraft-like sandbox game competitor to Sandbox, the Sandbox metaverse. But it's going to be more based around games and individual experiences within these worlds, right? In Sandbox, it's all connected, and you can kind of travel between pieces of land. In NFT worlds, it's 10,000 separate, infinite worlds where you can build any sort of experience you want. And now that they're not under the chokehold of Microsoft, they're actually able to implement all kinds of different things similar to these other metaverses. Before they were stuck under the EULA, so uh, they were under the basically the boot of Microsoft, not allowing things like gambling, things like even paying for items in the game that were items other than cosmetic items. So there's a lot that they are able to do now that they don't have to uh, comply with that end user license agreement, and I think that that's going to be the biggest catalyst for development going forward. They're also going to be supporting their base layer is going to be on Matic. Uh, the way that the gasless transactions, everything else that they've built, is all going to run on Matic by default. But they are creating a system in which they are easily able to import and support other EVM-based chains depending on what you want to build on. So NFT World is basically going to be the core game system that TryMetafab or Metafab it is basically their case study. But Metafab is going to be a plug and play set of APIs and SDKs that allow you to plug into some of the amazing features that they've built for NFT World specifically, but are now opening up to everyone, but incentivizing you to use the World Token, which is the backbone of the NFT World's ecosystem. So they're creating all of these different pieces that you can plug and play into other games that you want to bring to Web3, and that's kind of in the background, more of the developer side. But I'm super excited to see how they do this. They are creating a gasless and transactionless solution for player profiles, for in-game currencies, items, shops. Imagine being able to interact with the blockchain without having to accept a transaction every time that you want to make an in-game purchase or a trade with another player or things like that. That's the sort of things that they're working on. We've already seen loot boxes be dropped from them. That was done earlier this week, where you can go in, sign in with your MetaMask account, and you're actually able to open your loot box and interact with that loot box without signing any further transactions, and it's all gasless, so you don't actually have to pay to open that loot box. These guys are going to be on the forefront of a lot of these emerging uh, SDKs and things that are going to kind of change the way that crypto gaming is viewed, and they're definitely people to keep your eye on if you're into the gaming side of crypto. So I implore you, if you're at all interested in kind of how gaming interacts with blockchain, Metafab is something to definitely look into, and they're always willing to answer questions within their Discord, and their team is amazing. But this is the same team as NFT Worlds. Just keep that in mind. They're using all of this technology in a case study within NFT Worlds. Now, going back a little bit, that's a little bit of the history. Kind of into the future, they're going into a rebrand. They realize that the word NFT is a little frowned upon by the ordinary Web2 user. So they're going to be rebranding the entire NFT World's assets all of the different assets that they have, their avatars, which are in-game playable characters, their NFT worlds themselves. They're going to be rebranding everything. They haven't announced what they're going to officially rebrand into, but I feel like that's going to be beneficial just for everybody to kind of get a fresh reset on the way that they view the project.
Man,
Uh,
I can see that rebranding is a double-edged sword, because they've been around for so long, and everybody, well, most people know and or have heard of NFT worlds.
right. Yeah. No.
When they rebrand, they reemerge as something new. Obviously, their community is going to know about it. But then, like, if someone, if it's someone like me that like can't keep up with all the projects, and all of a sudden I stop hearing about NFT worlds, how am I going to know what it is? So I hope they keep it relevant for that sake.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think what they're going for is a very similar look and feel to their branding that it is now. They just want to take that word out. They've thrown around like meta worlds, they've thrown around a few different ideas, and I know that nothing's for sure stuck or set in stone. But I agree with you entirely on that. They plan on keeping this logo exactly the same. I know that for sure. The little sandbox looking logo is going to stay the same, and they're going to try to keep a lot of that other stuff the same as much as possible. But another thing that I want to touch on before I move on, is the fact that this is going to be a free to play metaverse game, which is Minecraft like. So imagine the experiences that you have in Minecraft, a full kind of stories type mode if you just want to play in solo, or you can build with friends and create a diverse economy using world token or any other token that you want to implement into the system. And it's all going to be browser based for free. So it's going to be super accessible for everyone around the world. And I think that's part of the reason why they want to do the rebrand too, is so that, because some of the people from Minecraft heard about NFT worlds, because I mean, even Captain Sparkles, one of the biggest YouTubers around Minecraft, made a video talking about how he didn't understand it and wasn't here for it, right? He was kind of bashing the project. And I think kind of stepping back and rebranding so that we can market in a new way, is going to be beneficial to the project overall, because it's going to be so much different than it was before. Yet they're still going to be able to use a lot of the things that they already built, and basically plug it in a new way that makes a little bit more sense for the average user. So I'm super excited to see this rebrand and be a early beta tester. I'm excited for that as well. I was reached out to in their Discord, and I will be putting out a little bit of content on that when the time comes.
Nice. We're gonna watch you play live on one of our shows. What do you? I'm curious. Do you own? Were you a landowner of their initial collection?
I was. So there was a time. There
There's
was
a
a
story
time.
here.
Yeah. I mean, I watched the rise and the fall of the great NFT worlds. I was there when they were trading below an ETH the first time. I saw them rise all the way up to their 18 ETH floor when peak bull market last year. I mean, they were like 80 grand a pop for a little while. It was crazy. It was crazy. And then I told myself, if there's ever an opportunity that I can get myself a world, I want to do it. And then we saw the kind of the collapse, the crumble of things, and I actually ended up trading a few of my assets that I had that had some value outside of the NFT world's ecosystem for an NFT world. At the time, a guy was trying to get out as I was
Nice.
trying to get in, but I then paper handed that a few months later when I got a little fearful. But I still own a lot of the token. I still own my avatar. I own my Gray Boy, which is in the ecosystem as well, and be able to use
Is
both
there
of
any?
those.
I'm only asking because I don't know. Is there currently what's the value? Is there any value in those lands still? Are they going to
Oh yeah.
transfer some way into their new metaverse
Yeah,
or
so
their new game?
it's entirely backwards compatible. Everything so the NFT world itself, the actual NFT asset, is not going to change whatsoever. The way that they basically do it is there is a random seed assigned to that world. I don't know if you're familiar with Minecraft and how they generate it all, but basically it's like a seed that you can type in. Say you
I'm a
typed in.
Minecraft fan.
Okay.
I've
Okay.
built for hundreds of hours in Minecraft. Not
Okay.
ashamed to admit it. I love Minecraft.
Me too. Me too. So they basically allow you to go in with the seed to a normal Minecraft world, and you're able to just paste that in, and then you can basically upload that world to take the place of the current save on that NFT and update the metadata. And it completely backs up entirely from what you save. And the way that they're doing this now is it's going to be completely backwards compatible. You're going to be able to even use Minecraft plugins that are built for Minecraft in this new game mode, in this new game. It's going to read the exact same, and it's going to convert it automatically into Rust language and how it reads. It's going to be super cool to actually experience it.
Like, are they gonna like? Is Microsoft gonna come after them? Like, are they stepping on anything proprietary, or
Nope.
are these plugins allowed to be used by third parties into third party games and whatnot?
They're third party made, so
Okay. Okay.
NFT
Community
World.
made.
Yeah, I mean, they have a $4 million war chest that from all the royalties, their initial mint. They actually got really lucky with when they turned everything into USDC. I mean, luckies. I mean, selling it at any point before, a certain time last year was probably a good move. But they're sitting pretty good. They've got a really lean but aggressive team with some of the best developers. They have some guys from Bucket. They have some guys from some of the other clients softwares that are kind of that third party system. But there's never been a profitable way to develop Minecraft servers other than officially owning and launching your own and attracting players. There's never been a development value outside of just base pay. But now they're going to be able to create these longer term business plans around these worlds, and people are really attracted to it outside of just the general player base. Developers are very excited from what I've seen in the Twitter spaces I've heard and stuff.
Awesome! It's going to be interesting to watch this. And when is there any dates upcoming with regards to the project or any releases?
No dates announced yet. They got bit in the butt a few times last year announcing dates, so they're avoiding dates. But Q2, we should have the beta, the public beta. So the private beta is likely going to happen within the next month, and then the public beta will be happening Q2 for sure of their base client, which still has to be EULA compliant, unfortunately. So we can't have casinos in Minecraft yet.
All right. We'll leave that for Sandbox. And Decentraland and everyone else that has casinos. So, but Microsoft. What up, little Rocky Pup? Little Rocky Pup wants something. What do you want? Hang on, little pup. All right. I'm going to switch a little bit of topics real quick. This should be quicker, not as long as the last game. But I thought it'd be interesting to share, and there's that word again, because we're the American Crypto Academy, because we're going to have a light paper released soon enough where we can share a little bit more about the project for anyone that wants more details of what we're doing, where we're going, and where we're currently at. But on a similar note with education, interesting project that came on my target. I minted a couple of their NFTs, been following them on socials. They've recently introduced a burn mechanism to lower the supply, and improve their floor price, and to also, of course, raise some more funds. But this project strictly focused on providing scholarships to primarily the youth with regards to learning Web3 and getting more familiarized with what the Web3 is all about and how they can benefit from it. And I'm actually have reached out and curious to collaborate with them in the American Crypto Academy. Anyone out there that happens to catch the show from Web3 Scholars, by all means, please reach out. I've reached on DMs on Twitter. That's where they're active. But regardless of any of that, it's still quite an interesting project. They allow award. You submit applications, and I think it's every. I forget what the schedule was as far as how often, but they on a regular basis award scholarships that can be used towards education in the Web3 space through an application, and they use Snapshot to provide their holders the ability to vote on project. This is a sample of their assets. They're actually quite cool assets. They're kind of original and unique, and it's a play on um, scholars throughout history. I actually am a fan of the art, and it's not something that's flippable. I just like what they stand for. We've gotten a lot of feedback of how much demand there is about education in the space. A lot of people cannot understand or relate or feel intimidated because this is a little bit of a technological aspect, and it empowers us to control a lot more. Going back to it, also increases a little bit of a security factor of individuals being targeted, but it's not as bad as it may sound. It's all about knowing what you're doing and being alert and vigilant, and yeah, defend your assets. But I'm very excited to see this and looking forward to establishing communication route with this team to participate with them, as we also, the American Crypto Academy, are dedicating funds to a scholarship fund. So it would be interesting to participate with other projects out there, and perhaps our scholarship funds can also be applied to other platforms, even outside of ACA. We're all about spreading education. So that's primarily why I wanted to show this. Check them out. They have decent community. They're active every day. And they're all about education, most importantly.
Amazing. Yeah, I think those sort of opportunities and giving people that opportunity, that breathing room to learn and take the time. I think that's the most valuable thing for some of these people, is just a little bit of financial freedom so they can have the time to learn. And I love seeing that. That's amazing.
While I have the floor, just wanted to remind everyone, none of this is financial advice. Do some research and if you're not sure of what that means, it means make sure you're comfortable and you understand the risk and the team that's behind a particular project and what the project stands for. But more importantly, that there's a chance the project's going to be around because what they've created, there's need for support from the community. More importantly, the team's commitment. That's not to say that well-funded projects cannot pull a trick on you. So even then, when you've done your research and homework, there's still lots of risks in the space. Not to discourage anyone, it's just until the space grows a little bit further, there's more insurance or regulation available to protect the retail investor. We have to be cautious and take measurements. Going back again, I can't keep stressing this enough. We now have the power to control our own assets, and we've never have had that power before. And so that is why we're experiencing that. But it's, as a famous movie quote goes, with great power comes great responsibility. And so we have to do our part to protect our own assets and ourselves and our identity. But on the same note, that those same factors are no longer being no longer being taken from us and monetized by third parties, as some companies are still traditionally doing that out there. All right, Evan, what you got next for us?
Right. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about ENS. Speaking about safety and some of these things, I think that ENS is a great topic to kind of dive into. So I don't know how many of you guys have heard of sign in with Ethereum or what that might look like in the future. Making a super streamlined way for you to sign into websites without needing to use a password, without needing to store that password on a server somewhere in another country, maybe, or another state somewhere where you don't even know where it's stored. That could be hacked without anything to do with your mistakes. Sign in with Ethereum via ENS or even just your managed wallet through MetaMask is a very powerful tool that's putting it back into users' hands. So I'm going to kind of go through just what an ENS is, what you might be looking for with an ENS, and kind of what you might do with it. So it can be any sort of address. Now, if I wanted to do smart assets show, I can search and see, oh, is this available? Yes, it is. Smart assets show. if I wanted to go and purchase this, they charge you per year for that domain. It's a pretty reasonable price when it's a longer domain. The shorter ones get a little bit more expensive, but you
I
can go
hope
in
I
there.
hope you're gonna buy this now that you're showing everyone it's available while our show is live and we didn't secure the name.
I'll do it. Screw it. I'll do it. I also use Pocket Universe. It's another safety layer that I don't necessarily want to put my entire soul into it. If something happens, it's not my fault, but it's what I use to help safeguard myself from things that might be malicious. It kind of scans the contracts for you, allows you to kind of see what you're getting yourself into before you get into it. So now going through this,
He bought it.
I did buy it. So you request to register, you have to wait 1 minute and we'll complete registration. And while we're waiting, I want to go over to ENS Vision and talk a little bit about this amazing site and tool that I have found last year that kind of allows you to browse what else is out there for ENS domains, see what everybody else is buying, and see different categories. People really like the numbers. We got the 999 Club, so that's numbers 1 through 999, and then we have the 10K Club. Similar to how there's a 10K collection of NFTs, we got the 10K collection of ENS domains. There's lots of different ways that you can sort through on here. You can go in and see what everyone else is buying. You can go in and see names. You can see last names. They even have the Pokemon names. Those have been pretty hot over the last couple months.
Oh,
All
that's because
kinds.
Pokemon is working on blockchain stuff. Sorry.
Yes, yes. So if you, I mean, owning Pikachu.eth, I mean, that's an absolute gem. And then they have words, they have surnames, dictionary words, male first names, female first names. So you can go through, and it's a lot easier to kind of search through and see, oh, is there a good name that somebody is putting listing for way less than it's worth. I really like this tool, and I think that it's a good way to go if you're trying to find something specific or just browse around. It's good for both of those. So as we're getting closer to this minute here, and I'll show you
Well,
guys what that looks like.
yeah, while you're waiting, why don't you tell everyone what is an ENS domain, but like the kindergarten version? Like,
Yeah,
why, I know you touched on it a little bit, but like
yeah,
the basics of it.
absolutely. So in the simplest way possible. Oh, I don't even have enough ETH. Oh
Oh
no.
no!
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh
It's
no!
okay. I'll get it later. I'll get it later. I don't think anybody's
Let,
jumping on it. If they are, they earned it.
let me send you some
Um,
ETH.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I have some in a different wallet. I just need to send it. But basically, you can go in here. These are some of the domains that I have. Now, say I wanted to go in and Bitcoin Boy. This is one of the first ones that I thought was going to make me a ton of money. Nobody's offered me anything for it, but it's okay. It's fun. I'm learning. But basically, what you can do in here within this one domain, you can link it to your email. You can link it to a URL, a Web2 URL. You can connect it to an avatar in a metaverse. You can put a description within there for similar to maybe a Twitter description or a LinkedIn description. You can add a Discord, a GitHub, a Reddit, Twitter, Telegram, and there's a lot more that you can do on the address side. So we can actually link this to a lot of different EVM based addresses. So basically, I can create it. So this is going.
Addresses like where you receive mail?
No, 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 crypto addresses. So I can
Digital wallet addresses.
absolutely. So now Bitcoin and Ethereum are obviously on different networks, right? They don't run in tandem, and you can't directly uh, interact with each other. But so I could create, this would be my ETH address, and I can set up a separate Bitcoin address, and they can both receive via bitcoinboy.eth. So that's another really unique way that you can streamline it easily, so people can, you can just easily share your ENS address with somebody, and they can send you any form of cryptocurrency as long as you have it set up within this ens.domains site, and make sure that everything is set. You have to pay gas. Make sure that you're paying gas. If you don't pay gas, it did not save. I learned that lesson the hard way. Hope
So in a nutshell, because blockchain and cryptocurrency digital wallets, sorry if I may just jump in there real quick,
Go ahead.
are these strings of long sets of characters, as you can see there. And I challenge you to try to remember that. I mean, a lot of people probably can, but that's just like that's we no longer remember phone numbers. Who's going to remember an address like that? However, these ENS domains allow you to come up with a name that you can link to multiple different digital wallet addresses on different blockchains and be able to receive those particular cryptocurrency tokens associated with those blockchains on that address because you've set it up on the back end. So to Evan's example, whether it's Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, if you set it up on the back end, you provide an address to your wallet, anyone sending to the name above, you will receive those funds in those wallets, corresponding wallets. So it simplifies it a lot.
Yeah, and I think it's good too for just recognition's sake, right? I mean, being able to easily, it's a lot harder to go and double check that long string of numbers and letters than it is to double check an ENS address. And I think that, coming from a safety perspective, we're starting to see people get real sneaky with how they decide to infiltrate people's wallets. And I think that this is just another layer just to make things a little bit easier on yourself.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm an ENS fan. I've got a few.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna jump in and share a little bit about the Love Club DAO. The Love Club DAO is an idea of a close colleague of ours. It's a personal side project for fun, but primarily for the ability to spread love and remind everyone as we keep grinding in the space to take care of our mental health and our ability to stay sane and keep on building. We all want to be around for a while as we build these amazing projects. And so the Love DAO is jumping in here to provide to spread some love. And hang on one second. I'm showing you some assets right directly from the source. There's going to be different sets of assets. The plan is to incorporate different blockchains, multiple blockchains, as many EVM compatible, potentially also Wax, and maybe even Tezos. But the whole goal of the Love Club DAO is to spread awareness of love and mental health and start the discussions so that people can be aware and not forget that that's important, and nothing else matters really when we're not well in our space and spirit and mind. And so in lieu of Valentine's Day, great opportunity to spread some joy and bring a smile to everyone's face. What the project is going to attempt to do is that's going to be its mission, but it will do it through a little bit of a viral minting process where you mint one, you send one to a friend, you get rewarded with another, you keep sending. We'll see how the developer can make that happen. And so I invite you to look forward to this, keep an eye out. We'll share it and spread the love with friends and family and the community. And it should be a fun little project. This isn't in any way to try to make any funds. This is a joyful community project to connect the soul, spread some love, put smiles, and remind us, take it easy. It's okay to grind, but it's even more so okay to take a break, take a breather, and get outside amongst the nature and Mother Earth. I'm a big fan, and so I have a lot of passion around this project. So I wanted to share about it here on this space tonight.
Amazing. I love that idea, and the fact that like you can spread the love without giving up your spot in the fun. I think that that's incredible. It might be even a cool onboarding tool to spread that love, right? And showing that there is positivity within the space, and it's not all scary, you know, risk assets. There's fun to it.
On a similar note, we're also exploring a collaboration with Forever Friends. This is a project that's spun out by a friend of mine. Forever Friends is basically think Hallmark, but in Web3 with blockchains and digital wallets. And it's an amazing idea. You can send anyone a card. It won't cost you anything but a little bit of gas. And you can include a gift with that card if you'd like or not. So definitely check it out. But the Love Club DAO met with the team today, and we're exploring how to potentially collaborate. So there may be a play where there's a custom card designed just for the Love Club DAO. When you send that card, you can attach one of the assets with it to a friend or a loved one or family. So excited to share Forever Friends. Check them out. Give them a shout out. But this is my shameless plug. I think it's an excellent project, and too bad Hallmark didn't think of it first.
I love that. All right, well, I'll bring it on home with our last little project here. I think it's our last one, right?
Yeah, whatever you like.
Okay.
Could be our last. We can talk about another, whatever you want.
All right, we'll go ahead and share this. So this is just for reference sake. This is going to be out of the price range for a lot of people, but I do feel an obligation to bring this opportunity forward, as I do feel like it is going to be very valuable, very beneficial to the people that hold it and participate currently already with the community. So Loudpunks is an NFT project that is giving lifetime VIP access to every Rolling Loud music festival around the world for life, or as long as that NFT is owned. So this is based off of a company, a music festival that has been long-standing. They've been running since 2013, I believe their first show was, and they're still here a decade later. These concerts are not to be taken lightly. As you can see here, there's lots of names that you probably recognize, even if you're not a hip hop rap fan. It's pretty incredible, the opportunity here to get unlimited access in the VIP section, as well as front row, the VIP pit for life. So there's just a jam-packed utility value, and you're able to use it right away. This first show is March 3rd through 5th.
Wow.
And it's going to qualify for the first one. Like, you'll be able to go start the whole concert season this year, a whole concert season next year. They as long as you want any amount of shows you want. This year they're holding 8 shows around the world, and they're going to be mixing up the lineups between all of them. They do a great job of that. And they've also teased at the fact that they are going to be airdropping randomly to different traits. They're going to be doing trait-based airdrops for different concert tickets throughout the year to shows outside of their festival, because they also host several large artists and help with their tour tickets. It might be a little bit further down, but one of the first ones is going to be Lil Wayne. They're going to be doing giveaways for shows for the Lil Wayne tour that's happening this summer. Here is an example of some of the art, what it might look like. Very interesting. It's definitely, not necessarily you're paying for the art, you're definitely paying for the utility, but they are building some cool IP and merch around these little Loudpunks characters, and they're going to be selling those at all their shows, and not just to NFT holders. So that brand, I expect to continue to grow. Just a cool project that I see a lot of value flowing into. Their mint is 1.5 ETH, so it is pretty pricey.
Spicy.
But as you can see, there's some big names that are looking closely at this project and that are working with the team. So I'm happy that I'm gonna have exposure, thankfully. But it's gonna be interesting to watch and see as we see some of these concert junkies that are a little bit more well off, that go to most of these shows every year anyway, and see how they react to an opportunity to get lifetime access. I'm excited to see that at the first show in California, and how they react. So
I'm
Just a cool thing I wanted to show with you guys.
I'm hitting my whale button on my soundboard here, but it's not working because he just said he's gonna have exposure to that project. I think that means he's gonna hold one of those assets. But hey, that's freaking awesome. As expensive as it is, the last now, how many assets are they selling? Do you know?
5,555. And hear me out. Hear me out. It's a lot.
No, 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 no. I wasn't gonna say it. Like, dude, like for this is a. I mean, it's big. I can see it selling out. You know what? Like,
Yeah.
11, Club 11 did an NFT drop last year, I believe it was. Was it last summer? Like, late last summer. It was, yeah, sometime late spring, early summer. Club 11. They also make 11 vodka, and their NFT was 1 ETH, and I think they had 10. I want to say 7 or 10,000 assets. They sold out, and I think their resale is like 3 ETH right now. But very significant, and that club is in Miami, and so like there's a lot of opportunities because like similarly to this event, there's a ticket for events and big performers in the space, one of the biggest clubs in the world, and so you could potentially sell those tickets and make your money back off of getting that asset, but it's still a chunk of change you got to cough up front.
Yeah, for sure. Is my screen being shared at the moment?
Yes, sir.
All right, so this is just for reference. This is what the VIP tickets pricing looks like for one event. Now, if you go to 3 events, you have more than gotten your money's worth. So it's just something to consider as well. That I just for a little bit of reference for people.
Yeah,
I mean, the
no,
people that are going to be looking to buy
absolutely,
these are people that are already willing to spend $1,000 for a weekend, and that's
absolutely.
before drinks and food and everything else. So it's interesting value, and I think that being a name that is so ingrained with a community,
Where'd you
a
go?
community
Oh, there
vibe.
you are.
I think it's just interesting because it's like they already have an insane community that continues to grow organically, and now bringing Web3 elements into it, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited to see what happens.
All right. Well, keep us posted. Let us know how it goes. I'm curious how they do with 5,500. I think it's going to take a minute. It's not going to be like an instant sellout, but hopefully they stick to their guns. I'm a full supporter for major brands, retailers out there. You want to sell 5,000 assets, 10,000 assets. You only sell 500, 1,000 to start with. People gave 9/11 and poor shit about and then not selling out so they could supply. I'm a big supporter of the opposite. Stick to your guns and sell through the assets. If you're building a value there for the community, you don't have to sell out overnight, and this gives the opportunity for lots of people that are even late. Like people want to be early. You can give incentives or different price strategies, or increase the price. Start lower and increase the prices if you factor in the fact that you're not going to have an instant sellout. But don't cut your supply only because the Web3 community demands it. Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of heat from this comment, and I welcome the comments. I'm willing to discord it and the topic, but just because Web3 community says, oh, cut the supply, we won't hire floors. It's not about the floor. Any project that's doing it right is not going to focus on the floor. Sure, you don't want your floor dropping, but if you focus on creating utility for the users, you engage with the community, you listen to the community with regards to everything else, by all means, but don't cut your supply because that's what they ask for. That helps them, not so much the project itself. And if they're smart enough to understand the strategy, like you don't want to cut the supply. Like it may give you an immediate bump in value or immediate gratification in some way. But imagine if you had 5,000 more assets, and when with the next bull run, what kind of a market you're looking at. And so I think the community itself is shooting itself in the foot when it asks projects to cut their supply.
Yeah, I agree entirely, and I think it's especially rings true for some of these Web2 brands that don't need this money, right? Like
Exactly.
if you
Exactly.
if,
So
if
why
you have a
wait for a
plan
sellout?
to yeah, if you have a plan to build out a little NFT club and you want people that want to be there. If the Web3 people don't want to be there right now, you either build some cool stuff that makes them want to be there, or you wait to get an audience that is a little bit more familiar with you and wanting to be associated with you as you are. And I think sticking true to your guns. I agree with you, Ivan. I'll back you on that.
Right on. Right on. Um, we're getting to about an hour and 15 minutes. I'm gonna see if we can loop this to wrap up the show, and we'll do it again next week. But I did wanted to mention, we'll do a giveaway. We'll do it again the same way we did it last week. Those of us who were around, actually nobody shared or tagged me with the video, so let's see. We'll keep doing it till we get someone, and then we'll come up with a different way. But this video will be up on YouTube tomorrow. It is live now, and technically, actually, it may still be live when we should. Actually, yeah, it should be. Last week we weren't broadcasting on YouTube. This week we're broadcasting on YouTube. Not last week, the week before, because last week I was at a conference and I couldn't make the show. My bad. But so this will remain on YouTube. So the first person that shares the video after we go off air and tags us on Twitter with the video shared will be our winner. Looking forward to it. Can't wait. Tag us, reach out. Before we call it a day, let's get in one more lesson in there. Evan, what? I didn't know this. I missed this. When did this happen? Like I'm seeing what you want to share next, and it's like, oh snap.
Yeah,
where was I?
I mean, it's been the story of the whole platform's life. So to clue everybody in, so about this time last year, everybody was gearing up for the big Coinbase NFT platform. We thought that it was going to be something that brought a bunch of new eyes and retail users, and lo and behold, it was a crash and burn scenario. They funneled a bunch of money to build this actually pretty impressive platform that got very, very, very little traction. And they, after almost 10 months of failed attempts to do several NFT launches, marketing efforts, they have decided they're going to put the entire platform on pause and just kind of reevaluate as they go. Yeah, it's a little concerning considering they literally funneled tens of millions of dollars into building this platform. But I think it's the right move. I think that they need to relaunch with a different narrative. There is literally like negative volume on that platform. Like nobody trades there.
How's that?
It's
wait, do people buy NFTs elsewhere and go there and get a refund or something? How's there negative volume?
There's like no buying on the platform. There's only selling. That's what I mean by that. Like there's like nobody's purchasing
you can't have a sell
through the launch pad. So no, yeah, that's what I mean. Like there's nobody's buying through their launch pad that they created. They wanted to do launches for a bunch of large artists. Very few people are bringing any volume to the marketplace. They're just listing and trying to sell things from other places as another venue, which is like it brings them no revenue. So
interesting.
It's been pretty bad, and I think that it's just something that it speaks volumes to the way that Web3 thinks as a whole. I think is it's the way that they accept things is very democratic. People, it's where the majority goes is where kind of everybody else flows, and I don't think that they really had any incentive to use Coinbase. So similar to LooksRare, why it's lost support.
Yeah, I think maybe Coinbase didn't have the right advisors on the project.
They paid a lot of money for those advisors, from what I hear.
I know, but like, how many this isn't anything new. How many times we've seen Google launch something and spend millions of dollars on a new project and then they cut the plug? Many, too many to mention probably at this point. And so the fact that they did that, the fact that they're reevaluating their process, if they said that they were going to relaunch or something, by all means, yeah, maybe you didn't have the right advisors. Maybe you paid too much money. Sometimes paying too much money or top dollar for a service is not necessarily the right move, not because of the price, and just because you can afford it, but because of the quality of work you're going to receive in return. So interesting development, but hey, there's so many marketplaces on Ethereum. Coinbase had to do something a little more gimmicky and not so much tricking us, but when I say gimmicky, more unique and give us bells and whistles that we can't find on any other marketplace. Otherwise, what's the relevance and who needs another marketplace? And,
I agree.
I don't know. That's interesting. I did not expect that, and I didn't see your notes until the end, so I'm quite shocked.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see how that develops. I had so much hope. I was one of the first people on Coinbase NFT. Like I'm proud that like my profile says that I was there the first day it was launched. And I hope that someday that means something. But right now it doesn't. So uh,
Yeah, what was I gonna say? As a stock owner, like I don't feel like that they did me right, so I'm looking for better performance. Coinbase, let's go. Not only do I have tokens with you, but I own stock with you. What are you doing?
come on, Coinbase. Oh.
All right, dude. Well, you got anything else for our audience?
No, I don't think so. Just stay tuned. Make sure you're following us on socials. The American Crypto Academy, like Ivan said earlier in the show, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. EST every day, every Monday through Friday. And we just do a little morning announcements. We do a little market breakdown. We talk about some NFT stuff. That's a great place to interact with us if you have specific questions or want to recommend us a project to look at for this show. That'd be a good place to interact with us and get to know our team a little bit better.
All right. On that note, appreciate everyone that tuned in and stayed with us through the hour and 19 minutes that we've been live. Thank you. Next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Bring your questions. Bring your projects. Bring us a topic you want us to dissect for you. We'll do it. We'll do it right here live on the show. We'll talk anything and everything digital, collectibles, and smart assets.
Yes, sir.
On that note, I bid everyone farewell. Have a great weekend, great evening, and we'll see you next time. Let's keep building.
All right.